Hey, besties. Let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Kenya, there's a reason why I never liked her. She is good for reality TV, for whatever that is. You know, she's good at reads. She can clock you. She know how to stir the pot. She asks the questions that we want to know. But she just uses poor judgment. She's classless. She appears to be classy, but Kenya is reckless. She just talked herself out of a check. She just ruined her own event. She let this girl steal her joy and her prize and all that. No wonder why the shop ain't open but 3 days a week. Kenya just can talk herself out of some stuff. She done talked herself out of this check. Now it's understandable why production did not give Kenya any confessional time to throw the beautiful shade she's good at throwing. Well, she is a friend of the show, so do they get, well, Cynthia gets confessionals. Even Ralph got a confessional. Did Dennis get one too? I think Dennis even got a confessional time. So here we are. We are at the episode that gets rid of Kenya for the rest of the season. Welcome, besties. You are now behind the shade, and thanks for joining me. I recap your favorite reality shows weekly. Now let's kiki and haha and get into another episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 5. What is it called? About last night. Do we like the title of this episode? Nope. I liked when Drew said, "You can have his hot dog." You can have his hot dog, honey. And besties, how about you rate this week's episode? It was good. With the time that it has taken to come back to Real Housewives of Atlanta, this is a good cast. I'm not totally in love with it. I don't have to be, but I enjoy it. It's entertaining. I'm getting into it. Let's do it. And I'm gonna give it. Let's give it a 9. It was a 9. You drop down in the comments and let me know what you thought about tonight's episode, besties. And please like my video. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And make sure your notification bell is on. Ding dong. So that you know each and every time I post my content. Now let's get into it, okay? Okay. So I heard this week or last week, and I may have forgot to address it last Sunday or whenever I did my review. I think I recapped on Mondays, but tonight you're getting it now. So the talk about Angela when she approached Wendy Williams back in the day, so the word on the curb was Charles got into an altercation with security or somebody at the Madison Square Garden, right, in New York. And the owner of the Madison Square Garden forbidden him forever coming in there ever in his whole life. He is banned. He cannot come. It's going to be a problem. So remember last week when she said, yeah, and after that or at that time, they were having little problems. Well, the word on the curb is, hold on, besties. I have a dog that is just doing too much. I'm over her. She's just going through some things right now. She has snuck into the office. I had the door closed because the battery in my smoke detector has been beeping. And, life is real ghetto right now until tomorrow when we can get the battery, replaced. A lot is going on, and I'm trying to hold on to my sanity. So if you hear the dog shaking, her dog tag's gonna be, she's just needy right now. I don't know what's going on with you. Brooklyn, would you like to say hi to the besties? Because now you are a part of the show. You are a part of the show. Would you like to say hi? You gonna talk later? Okay. If you're a dog lover, you understand. If not, if you got kids, they act just like children. As soon as you get on the horn, that's when they want some attention. So, let's see. Let's get into so what do we say? Okay, so Angela had approached Wendy right around, I guess, when Wendy's ex-husband had got his ex, sorry, well, she is an ex, but his ex-mistress pregnant, and they were having the baby, the little girl named Journey. Ain't that her name? Her name is Journey. And so Angela pretty much told Wendy, like, you can make it through it. Like, you don't have to break up. Like, it's okay. It's not as bad. It's not that bad. So pretty much she was telling Wendy the rumor on the curb allegedly is that Charles had a baby on Angela, and Angela chose to stay. Now, another content creator was like, well, isn't that son that's there, the 11-year-old? And I was like, oh, maybe, huh? And then I was going to bring that to you guys, but then I remembered I didn't even have to go back in my notes. I'm like, no, this is their son together. That is their son together. If there is a side piece baby, we are not going to see him on her platform. Okay. So we got that out the way. Okay, so can we get into the episode? Sure we can. Okay, great. Get ready, besties. Whew. So Shamia invites Angela over because Angela accepted Shamia's olive branch in the olive bottle. And so they're starting over. So Shamia's having her over and Britt over so they can just talk and like foo la la and talk about what happened the night before. So Shamia wants to know, like, why was Britt on 10 last night, right? So Angie tells Britt that the owner of the vault was not happy about how things went down. The owner was looking at Angela like, boo boo, you can't never come back here. Your crew is crazy. I'm gonna have to have y'all sign some some forms, some contracts. Y'all tear up my thing, it's going down. So the owner was like asking Angela, like, boo, do we need more security? Like, you got the ghetto here. And they supposed to be in the ghetto. So Britt, I guess her name is Brittany, but Britt is on an apology tour. She's just, I apologize. I'm so sorry. That's not like me. It's not, oh, I'm so sorry. It's giving how she was talking about how ghetto Bankhead was, where the venue is. And as soon as she gets there, she turns into the ghetto hood rat. What set you off so bad, sis? What set you off? And so I just had a thought of how Britt can downplay or probably has downplayed having that pow pow on her. Because how is she still on the show? Because Britt should have got fired that night. they should have unmiked Britt that night and told her goodbye. What did Shawnee say to B over there on Basketball Wives? Thank you for your service. She should have got fired then. There's another, and that's where Kenya dropped the ball. Kenya could have went to production, got an attorney, sent some paperwork to the production, and got Britt fired. She could have took it that route, the professional grown woman route, not the talking about her at your launch, at your soft opening, your grand opening. You sit here celebrating yourself. This is something that you doing for your daughter. You just spent $400,000 on this beautiful spa that you would like for these people to come to and get the word out and market you and get you going, and you got to make your money back. But instead of talking about your vision and the future and the mission of the salon, you over here talking about Britt. You just don't. That's why I never really liked Kenya. Like, she just corny, doofless, just sorry, classless. She just she got the right things, but just don't utilize it correctly. Like she needs a good friend to check her and tell her about herself. Where is her aunt and her cousin? Remember her aunt with the short hair, the short blonde little afro used to always come by and all that? Well, we know what happened to Auntie. Remember when Kenya went to Detroit to try to confront her mother and brought her aunt? And this, I guess, to me, Kenya's mama put her aunt, which was her sister, to the side and said, "Don't do that, sweetheart. Whose side are you on?" And I think Kenya's aunt picked her sister over her niece because we didn't see her auntie no more after that episode. I remember that. So I believe Britt is gonna downplay her why she had a pow pow on her. I bet you she's probably gonna tell production or told them, "Oh, I had it for protection because we were in a bad neighborhood and I wanted to feel safe." I'm sure that's how that's gonna play out. I can almost guarantee it. So Angie wrote the question to Kenya, the third question to Kenya about how she treats Brittany. And so Angie says she's on Brittany's side. Then later on in the episode, Angie goes to Kenya and tell her she's on her side. Did y'all catch that tea? I'm like, okay, Angie. I'm not calling her Angie. Okay, Angela Jackson. So yeah, she playing both sides. And Angela. Angela Oakley, let me tell you, sweetheart, you don't have to be on either one of their sides. You can be in the middle and support them both and check them both and let both know what they did wrong. You don't have to play sides. You are a grown woman, but we get it. You got issues with your own mama, your sister, your daughter. We get it. We see why your daughter ran off and got married and didn't tell you. You play both sides. You do, which is good for reality TV, right? So, um, so they were like, "Oh yeah, well, you felt so." Here go Angela. So you feel like Kenya's energy was weird towards Britt, and so Britt doesn't want Kenya to feel like she was intimidating her. She doesn't want to make her feel, some kind of way. So she swears, no, Britt, like, very sweet, and she's like, really? No, 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 no. They're telling Britt that Kenya is very sweet. And I'm like, what? So Shamia asked, did Angela ask Charles about what Portia was hinting around to about rumors of him? And so she said no. She knows she is married to a celebrity and she has thick skin, honey. She said, oh no, I don't get in all that. That DM be full of mess. She don't even be bothered. So then we head on over to Kenya's hair spa, honey. Her security guard is standing there looking good. Wasn't he cute, y'all? He was cute. Hey, security guard. How you doing? You want to frisk me? He better. Because, these girls be walking around with pow-pows, honey. So Portia and Kelly are at Kenya's spa, and they're there to help her pick out the models. And, Kenya's showing them the girls that's going to model and all that for the soft grand opening. They're excited. Yes, yes, yes. But Kenya is confused about what happened with Britt, mentioning this pow-pow. And then a few of the ladies, they're trying to act like they didn't hear that. She's like, no, I heard it. She said it. They're like, we didn't hear that. What do you mean? Because Kelly, you was sitting right there. You didn't hear all that? And she was hollering. And nobody was talking. It wasn't like there was other conversations going on. You all should have heard that. I bet you the owner of the vault heard it. That's why she's side-eyeing Angela like, no ma'am, don't come back here no more. And that's bad when you get put out the ghetto, okay? So Kenya says she ain't the one, and she has a lot to lose. She ain't finna be engaging with these lies. She not finna let Britt gaslight her and be dealing with this BS, honey. She feels disrespected. And Kelly is telling her that she's not that kind of person. And Kenya is not hearing it. She said, oh, really? Well, she is. You say that, but you didn't. She didn't tell you she was going to aim at you. She didn't say it, but the alluding to. And so Kenya says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and run a background check on her." And it's like, why? Who are you? Are you the feds? Are you the FBI, Kenya? Why do you need to go run a background check on people? Why? And what happened to just whew, okay, we'll move on. So Angela and her daughter go out for coffee. And so they talk about Angie's mama because something just happened. And so Angie's like, what happened? What's going on? Because they acting up. They say you said, they said, what's happening? So child, the grandma is funking with the daughter, her granddaughter, Angie's, daughter, because Angie's daughter, why do I keep calling her Angie? Angela's daughter wanted to use the car that her mother gave the grandma, right? And remember, Angela and Charles takes care of all these family members. So the daughter thought her little entitlements, her entitled self can go to her grandma's and get the keys. Grandma was like, run me some money. You want to borrow my car? Run me some money. And then the daughter probably got a little beside herself and a little disrespectful because she feels like, well, this is my mama's car and you ain't driving it and I need to use it. You know what I'm saying? You already know where all this entitlement, all this money coming from. People need to be working for money, not just sitting back collecting a check. Not speaking of the grandma, but others. And then even the daughter was like, I pay their bills, I get them money. It's like, wow, grandma, now that I'm changing my mind, I'm a Pisces and I'm a woman, I have a right to change my mind. So just like Wendy Williams used to say. So shoot, the daughter is a piece of work and so is the grandmother. That's how I'm gonna sum that up. They both are being given money and they both feel entitled. Yep, that's what I'm gonna go with. They both feel entitled. Two spoiled brats fighting about stuff that they don't even own. Because what do you do, daughter, granddaughter? What do you do? What exactly do you do? How you get your money? So as the grandmother and the granddaughter are going back and forth about this car, Angie's sister got in her daughter's face. So Angela's like, why you didn't tell me? Oh my goodness, I ride for my mama, but I can't have nobody getting in my baby's face. You 25. She talking about I'm 24, mom. You 20 something. I gotta ride for my daughter. Right? And so it's a big mess. The daughter tells Angela to stop supporting them. What? Would you do that to your mother? And so Angela's like, I can't do that. It's my mother. My grandmother told me to take care of my mother. So we learn that Angie's mom suffers from bipolar disorder. And so now, so growing up was very hard for Angela and her sister. That's probably why they don't get along. And so now her mother feels like she has done all her work and she now is a self-proclaimed healed. She's self-proclaimed healed from having bipolar. And so Angela's happy about that. Good for mom. She's off her meds. She can handle herself. And so Angela's daughter is like, I love my grandmother. She's the best. She's a strong, wonderful, beautiful woman. But in this situation, she is wrong. Well, baby girl, I mean, why you didn't have do you not have a car? Why are you over there trying to borrow your grandmother's car? You don't have a car? And you didn't snuck off and got married 4 months ago. Your husband can't buy you a car? Huh? Yeah, okay. So then Angela mentions how her 24-year-old daughter that went off and got married the 4 months ago and didn't tell Angela. So she told the grandmother and she expected her grandmother to keep it a secret. Girl, you're 24 years old. You should know by now that grandmas don't hold water. Neither one of my grandmothers can keep a secret. You can tell them something and swear, and they will tell you to your face that they won't tell. Soon as you leave, they calling all their kids. By the time you make it home, The whole family know your business. Girl, what kind of family? Girl, you've been black all your life. You don't know how this works. You told your grandma so she could tell your mother. That's how I feel about that. You sitting there asking your mama, who told you? What? Girl, stop playing victim. If you didn't want nobody to know, you should have never told nobody. And then that's how you do that. Don't wear a ring. Don't say nothing. She acted like, oh, it was no big deal. Like it's things are the same. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal. And how don't you know that? It is a big deal. Don't say it's not. Two people coming together as one, two families merging together as one is a big deal. Yes, it is. So, yeah. And besties, tell me about your grandmothers. Have any of your grandmothers kept your secrets? I'm sure they might keep something like small little white secrets. But big news like you went and eloped? Oh, honey, I don't know a grandma today that will keep that away from the family. Neither one of my grandmothers. You could tell them a secret, put it in a bag, staple it, tape it, gorilla glue it, stitch it, sew it, put some bonding gel, bonding solution, some bonding glue, and they will still open that bag and tell your business, honey. Baby, it'll be on the 4 o'clock news. Yes, ma'am. So the daughter got some she got some entitlement issues, and so does the grandmother. So they all funking over funking, and it's a mess. So we just need to let the little girl know getting married is a big deal. So, and you knew grandma was going to tell it. So Angela was like, let's get out of here because we both in here crying. We about to have a cry fest out here at the coffee shop. Let's go. Okay. So Britt and Portia go eat. Britt admits that she took things way too far. She sees Kenya as she likes to put on, like, you know, how she came for her, talking about that wedding ring. And it's just like, it's episode 5. We still talking about that ring. Like, that was no big deal. And so it was said that no one else in the group thought Kenya was being shady when she asked Brittany about this wedding ring. And it's like, girl, how many carats was this ring, you guys? I'm going to safely say between, what I recollect, between 7 to 10 carats. You know, that's a pretty big rock. And when you wear something so huge, especially if the diamonds have great clarity, that thing is gonna sparkle and bling bling out of this world. You hear me? Just like the bling bling song, they say that you gotta put your shades on because your necklace is shining too much. Yes, same thing. So you think you can wear a 7 to 10 carat ring and think people are not gonna notice it and comment? You're gonna get all kind of comments, good, bad, or indifferent. People are gonna ask about it. They're going to point it out. You're wearing a big old bling bling ring. You know? So Britt feels targeted by Kenya. Girl, really? But this is the woman who loves to be married. You know, she's a newly married woman. Is this her first marriage? I don't know, but you know, every other word is my husband, my husband, my husband. Now today might mark the first episode. We didn't see or hear about him tonight. We didn't see or hear about him. Thank God. But we did see Charles. Okay, so she feels targeted by Kenya, like Kenya is trying the newbies. You know, that she coming for the newbies. And that might be true. Maybe she might be a little mad because she's not holding a peach. You know, she's a friend of, maybe there's a little shade, but mean anything by it? No. And if you notice, Portia's still wearing her wedding ring, or she's wearing a ring on her married finger. And you know, remember Britt was like, "Don't come for me as you got a husband." And then it, well, King is not divorced, so technically she does have a husband, Britt. She has a husband, and they seem to can't get divorced for nothing. But anyway, so Portia asked about her pow pow comment because they all, they act like they didn't hear it. And I'm wondering, is that, production making them say that? Because how didn't you hear that? All that hollering, because she said it like 3 times, well, twice on camera. But Britt takes accountability for the pow pow comment. It really feels like she's on an apology tour. And what that means is production told her to say it. She doesn't want Kenya to feel threatened none the least. So it's, sounds like she got that phone call. Bring, bring. Hello, may I speak to Britt? Hi, Britt. Yes, this is production. Yeah, from your show. Yes, Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so, we did hear your comments about the POW. And yes, you need to apologize. Feel some type of remorse. Put it on thick, put on very thick that you're sorry, that you want to apologize. When you go to the grand opening, take flowers, write a card, do what you got to do, girl. Okay? Yes, bet. All right, bye. Click. She's so apologetic. So apologetic. Oh boy, there's Charles in the bathroom with a glove on, holding a water bottle, talking crap. Britt's trying to get ready. Angela's trying to get ready for the event. She wants him to help her pick out earrings. He can't. She wants him to go. He like, why? I got hair already. My hair is done. I went and got a line yesterday. I don't want to go. I want you to support me, but you might be the only man there. But why do I want to come to a ladies' hair event? Portia was talking about you and some rumors about you. What? She don't know me. You better tell her she better pump her brakes. I don't care. They talking about me. They Googling me. What is she, the feds? She don't know me. She barking up the wrong tree. You better tell her. We don't play like that. You should have checked her as soon as she said something. Well, I was, but we wasn't. You better do your job. You better do your job. He got it in your wedding contract. When people try to spread rumors about me, you better check them. As soon as they say something to you, you better do your job, Angela. So he remembers he's cooking because she just a talking. And so she follows him downstairs. He's frying some beautiful golden brown chicken, honey. I saw strawberries and something else up there he was doing. And the kid came down. He wanted to eat. She gave him a little piece of chicken, told him to go sit down. And so Charles asking her, did you wash your hands first? And it's like, so production ran the tape back 11 seconds before she came in and washed her hands. And he gave her a paper towel to dry her hands with. But he still got that one glove on, Michael Jackson. He still got the one glove on, asking her, did she wash her hands? Did you change your glove? Because you was upstairs holding a bottle of water upstairs in a whole nother room. You came back down. You messing with the food, flipping the chicken over. You cross contaminating. Are you cross contaminating, Charles? So then she tells him about the issue between her and her sister and her mama. And Charles like, look, I don't talk to my own sisters. Let it go. Why do you bring your issues to me? I don't want to hear it because we're married. Who else am I supposed to talk to? I don't know. Just pay them people and leave it alone. Charles said he paying his family to shut up and go away. Because his family is a mess too. Child, money will change some people, honey. Money will change some people. So, child, it's the day of Kenya's event, honey. Auntie Cynthia shows up first, honey. But Auntie Cynthia did not have that wig, honey. Them ugly old wigs. Auntie Cynthia went back to LA and got her braids done, honey. They look like faux locks, but she had blonde in them. They black. They was hanging along. She looked good. Cheeks on point. Okay, this is the Cynthia that we're used to seeing. Okay? Okay. So Kenya has all the who's there. She got cheerleaders. She got people have to have pink bands in order to get in. Miss Lawrence is there, honey. And everybody, the who's who, all the influencers and the content creators, they are there posting content, okay? So Kelly is on her way. I didn't know Kelly owned her own Sprinter van, honey. Her own Mercedes Sprinter van. The back says Kelly. She got her laptop there. She got a charcuterie board. She just chilling, little Kim, her little self. She's so little and she be wearing stilettos and she's still short. So she picks up Britt. And so they're on their way. So as they're on their way at the salon, there is a hair show going on. All the women are, all these big costumes, little Bridgerton looking. Everything is purple because I guess, honey, purple is Kenya's favorite color because that's all purple, purple, purple. And we all know people who love purple are always going to tell you it stands for royalty. And Kenya, you are nothing like royalty. You are not. You need to just be in something else. Burgundy, lavender, lilac, magenta. You need to leave purple alone because you're not royalty. I have to get some water, besties. Okay, so there's a hair show going on. Drew shows up with her sister. She has flowers. And then Portia shows up. And then I saw, what's Moneta? Is that her name? Moneta. She's there. Hey, girl. Why didn't she become a housewife? She's been a friend of, remember, she's Kenya's friend. Not Kenya. She's Candy's friend. Is she somebody else's friend? She has to be because Candy wasn't there. Why Candy wasn't there? Do her and Kenya get along? They're okay, right? How come Marlo wasn't there? Maybe they were, they just wasn't on film. Anyway, I saw Moneta and I was like, oh, could she have been on the show? Huh. What you guys think if Moneta could be a housewife or even a friend of Besties? Put your comments down in the comment section. So the girls are catching Auntie Cynthia up because she wasn't there. So they telling her all what happened, Shamia and Angie, they made up. She was like, wait a minute, you and Shamia, y'all made up? She like, yeah, we cool. So then she like, what? So then she asked Portia, did her and Drew make up too? And Portia said, oh no, not happening. Not us. No ma'am. No sir. Nope. So Britt tells Kelly that her aunt passed and she had a stroke. And then baby, they was like pulling the plug on her. And it just triggered her because, her father just had passed away. So, and this is her father's sister. So I just want to put an RIP out there for Britt and her family and any of the aunties, friends, and kids. RIP to her. And so she said it happened so fast, she just couldn't grasp, nothing about it. So Angela shows up to the event. Kenya thanks her for reaching out to her the day after the vault dinner. And so they showed the text messages. And then that's when flip-flopping Angela tells Kenya, I'm on your side. I'm like, girl, you just told Britt. Okay, you just said that to Britt at Shamia house. Okay. She's a flip-flopper. So Portia is telling Auntie Cynthia about the pow pow comment and everything. Cynthia and Angela are asking which way she was packing. Cynthia's asking, she was packing? So they're like, yeah, girl. So Shamia thinks that they can talk and apologize. And I think Angela and Shamia thought, y'all could talk and apologize. She like, Portia said, nope. She said, I don't think so. She said, I think Kenya is in her retaliation mode. I know her because they all done fell out with Kenya. They know how Kenya operates. So they trying to tell the newbies. So Britt and Kelly shows up. And Britt is wondering if it's cool for her to be there. And they're like, yeah, because security would have put you out by now. And so the OGs are reassuring Britt from their own experience that Kenya would put you out if you showed up and she didn't want you there. So Drew comes over. Oh, wait a minute, go back. So Portia says she was shocked to see Britt show up, but she was glad she came. And so production asked Portia, like, what advice would you give Britt for being at one of, Kenya's events? And Portia said, oh, I hope her wig is tacked down because, baby, I got mine tacked down. Honey, Kenya is a mess. So Drew comes over to the ladies and she goes straight to Portia first to give her a hug. Portia does not oblige. Cynthia side-eyeing Portia like, oh, girl, please knock it off. And so she says, Drew tells Portia, I won't bite. And so Portia, oh, you won't bite? Well, not in my face, huh? I said, golly. So Drew hugs everybody else, says she'll come back to Portia after this, give her some time. But then she comes back to Portia. She's like, I want to smooth this out. We don't need to be funking. There's too much time has passed. Let's talk this out because it's too big of a thing. It's not that big deal and blah, 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 blah. And so Cynthia says she agrees because it's a bit awkward. And Portia looked at Cynthia and said, Auntie, shut up because you ain't even been here. And so Drew is like, let's not be weird. I am going through a divorce and Ralph is crazy. So why would I be stupid enough to mess with Dennis, your baby daddy? Because he's not a catch. He caught you, but now you don't even want him. So girl, quit playing. That's me talking. Drew is over talking like she's really selling herself, which sometimes can talk you out of your truth and make you look like you're lying because you're still reassuring. You're still, and then I wouldn't do it. Girl, I don't even like hot dogs, girl. I like hot links, girl. I like hot links. Don't play with me. I don't even like hot dogs, not at all, girl. You can have that hot dog. And so now it seems like she lying because why are you just overly talking? So Portia's like, are you done or are you finished? So Portia tells her, why don't you use your common sense? And I said, whoa, Portia, that's real rich coming from you, honey, because you didn't have, when we first met you, you didn't have any common sense. None. And I don't know if you do now, because you are in a mess. I don't even think, you still don't have no common sense. Uh-oh. You still don't have no common sense, girl. You in a mess right now. Why don't you have any common sense? You sat up there and had this baby with a hot dog, man, that is not a catch. Then you done went and stole your homegirl's associate, stole her husband, and he's a fraud. You don't have any common sense, honey. You don't have, y'all was only married less than 2 years. You don't have any common sense. How dare you? How dare you? She said, why would you be so messy? You could have just put in a simple phone call to me. Drew is like, we did. I did try to call you, Heifer. You wasn't hitting me back. You was sending me the voicemail. I text you. You don't text back for days. You was being shady, Portia. And you're not even handling this situation correctly either. You're not handling it. You're still not handling it correctly. Drew, she told Drew, stop lying. And Drew's like, what's happening? We're both going through divorces. Like, baby, we really need to talk about what you're really dealing with. I was like, ooh, not here, not now. No, we don't. Why do we need to talk about that? Girl, no. We need to talk about why Ralph had a confessional sitting up there on TV looking good with no shirt on. I was like, only if they could get it together. They are a handsome couple. But Ralph, he was like, it's about respect for him. He wants to go to Tampa without you asking why. We need to talk about that, Drew. Before we talk about Simon, We still want to know who was in Tampa. So you hush up. So Portia immaturely walks off. See, Portia, what are we doing? You have something to say. You have a point to get across. You need to talk to Drew. You need to talk to Drew. But no, you walk off like a little girl. So Drew says she has tried 3 times to talk to Portia. This is it for her. Portia has canceled twice. Portia says she got sick after Shamia's birthday party. She didn't have time to meet with Drew Sidora. But you still should have reached out. I know you're going through mess with Simon, but this was a real thing too, because this has to do with your job. And since you feel so great about them not filming together, you should have got your point across and reached an understanding with this woman. And you have to also understand where she's coming from. She need a check. She need a check bigger than Bravo. Okay. Ralph is getting ready to try to take all her money. Because where does he work? Where is his money coming from? What do he do? He getting ready to get her. I mean, he's living in her basement. Hello? That tells you he don't have no money. He in there doing a MTV Cribs for us and only showed us 3 rooms. The kitchen, the movie theater, and was that it? We're going to see a bedroom. Do he sleep on the couch in the living room? Whatever. The living room, the bar, and the movie theater. I guess he sleep in the movie theater, huh? You ain't no bedroom down there. But anyway, yeah, we already know he ain't got no money. Maybe if y'all would have talked like 2 adults, you would understand her relationship with Dennis. Bro, that was in her phone. So, Portia, again, you're not using common sense because you don't have any. And it seems like if your mama don't tell you that you should sit down and talk to her, you ain't gonna do it. That's just me. Moving on. So she does a flashback. This is why Portia's trying to tell us why she's not willing to talk to Drew. Because Drew and Dennis reached out to her creative director, who is also a music exec. They reached out to him because he has connections. He's in the who knows what and what goes on in the music industry. So they wanted to work with him to help her with her music project. I don't get what the problem is, Portia. I don't get what the problem is. So to me, she's probably in her feelings, feel some kind of way about Dennis, and think everybody want to have with him because she does. Maybe she's not over him because what don't you understand about it? I don't get what you don't understand about it. Why is it such a big deal? And I'm gonna tell you this: I sure don't want to keep hearing about it all season. I really don't. If you walked away from Drew about talking about Dennis, you won't sit down and talk to her. Let's not talk about it anymore. I don't want to hear about it. Leave Dennis alone. Let him do his thing. Because what we saw when they were on camera last week, I saw Dennis working. I saw him working and really producing Drew. He getting to his bag. Don't nobody eat hot dogs. We plant-based now. Ain't nobody doing that. Slutty vegan probably taking all his business. He got to come up with something else to do, honey. He got you and PJ. Do he have any more kids? It don't matter. Ain't nobody eating hot dogs like that. He got to come up with something. And I mean, Portia, whatever he make, you make. What is the problem? Grow up, girl. That's why her and King getting along. They just alike. So anyway, yeah, I don't get it. They're doing music. He's into music, and they need help. I don't get it. So yes, Portia, you do need to talk to Drew. You need to gain an understanding. You need to talk to both of them. And then you need to get your point across, and then you guys need to meet in the middle. Because I think Portia doesn't mind. Is it that Portia just doesn't want him filming with her, Or does she just not want them working together at all? What is it? And why? Okay, I need to know why, Portia. So, and then on the flip side, Dennis ain't even respecting her boundaries because she read him his rights at the mountain climbing spot when they was hanging out with Portia. She said her piece, cried, got in the car, fussed at him, and he still went on and did what he wanted to do. So, Portia, your problem is bigger than Drew, honey. Your problem is bigger than Drew, and you are the problem. Golly. So, okay. Britt tries to greet Kenya. Kenya threw her a whole shade tree, y'all, at the event. It's like, wow. She had some pretty flowers with a card to give her. Kenya threw shade at the card and the flowers. So Kenya starts her speech. I would like to thank all you guys for coming out. I built this brick and mortar with my daughter in mind so that she can see a successful boss Bia doing her thing. Britt is kissing and saying goodbye to people because Kenya shaded her and she's out. She says she had a card attached to the flowers and she hopes Kenya reads it because, of course, she's apologizing. So she leaves. Kelly follows her outside. I thought Kelly was leaving too, but clearly Kelly like, you go sit in the Sprinter with the driver. I'm going to go on back in. You cool? You good? Okay. Chill out. I love you. I'm on your side. I'll be back. Kelly came back in. Kenya is talking. And then she tells somebody to take Britt's flowers, throw them out. Kelly is like, nah, girl, we ain't doing that. What the flowers do to you? And so Kelly grabbed the card, like, oh, you got to keep the card because she knows, because Britt just told her outside that I got her a card. I hope she reads it. So Kelly's like, here, take the card. Like, read the card. Kenya said, no, burn the card too. And honey, she told Kelly, and you stay out of it. And she said it in that auntie voice, honey, you stay out of it. So she continues with, I'm that B. I've been that B. Will continue to be that B. And yes, that came in here with all that, did this, did that. She told the whole story to everybody. They all looking like, wait, what is happening? And then she blew dust. I blew dust at her. And then it was like childish, just childish. So she telling everybody what happened between her and Britt. It's so inappropriate. This is not the place. This is not the time. This is not the crew. These people are here to support you in this beautiful endeavor you're doing, and you sit here ruining your thing with this drama. She says, she did her research, and she pulls out poster boards, honey, of Britt Eady. Child, she didn't say a first and a last name. And now the segment of this segment now is called Who Is This HO? Child, she got pictures of her before and after lip fillers, her nose job, this, that, and a half. And it's like, so Kenya, you haven't had any work done either, honey? I'm just asking. So then the next poster board, child, is she ain't nothing but a trap HO, a video HO. I mean, I did music videos too, but baby, I did it for a lot of money. Yeah. So Kelly is like, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna let her play in my friend's face like this. I gotta go. And Kelly is saying too, like, everybody has had an HO phase in their life. Like, how is you digging up stuff from probably the 90s, maybe the early 2000s? How is you digging up all this stuff like you really throwing dirt on somebody? But it gets worse. Here comes the dirt. But it's like, Kenya, why are you doing this? Like, what is this for? Everybody is looking at her. Everybody is appalled, shocked. They feel humiliated for Britt. It's just like weird. But Kenya is a weirdo. So here comes the third poster board, and this blew everyone away, honey. It's pictures of her slobbing on the knobby. Kenya, Everyone's mouth is open. It is a true moment. Shamia and Angie are telling Kenya, you went too far. Yeah, you really did. Kenya says, no, I didn't. She threatened me with a pow pow. Don't come for me. And then someone gonna finish, unless I send for you. And Kenya's like, yes. Oh, okay. Everybody's like ready to go. They are taking it back. Kelly is out. She's like, oh wow. Oh wow. Britt is joins her. She didn't even get in the van. She's like, what happened? She's like, oh my goodness, girl. Oh my goodness. I can't wait for next week's episode. And so Cynthia in her confessional, she said, this was lower than HELL. She was asking production, what's lower than HELL? What's lower than that? Because that's where Kenya went. And so I'm like, okay, Kenya, you just played yourself, honey. You didn't get a confessional. You didn't get a peach. Now you ain't getting a check. But wait, I take that back because I heard something, y'all. So Cynthia goes to Kenya. She just had to tell her, like, you are better than this. I hold you to a higher standard. And Kenya's like, yes, She said, I'm about to go, but we're going to talk later. She said, okay, I love you, but baby, you was out of pocket. And so Portia's like, I'm out of here. I'm gone. She's outside production. She's telling production, unmic me right now. Make it seem like I never was here because I don't want to be here no more. Even Portia was like, that was low. That was low. And that was the end of the episode, besties. Don't forget to like the video. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure your notification bell is on so that you know each and every time I post my content. Now, wait a minute. What I heard was Kenya is not fired. She is suspended. I heard she is still getting her weekly check of $89,000 to be on this show. She is not fired. Bravo does not fire you. Even the ending didn't say they fired her. They said they made a decision to cease her filming. She still works for them. She still gets her check. She was not fired. So hopefully what that means is she's just gonna maybe come back next season, maybe this will be Britt's last and only season, maybe maybe she won't come back and maybe Kenya will, or maybe they'll make some amends and whatever, but Kenya still works there. She's still getting her check, honey. So honey, miss me with that, honey. She is not fired, honey. But Kenya was out of pocket. I believe if you're going to reprimand one, do both, because they both were wrong. They both were wrong. But Kenya, you are too old to do what you did. You should have done you should have done it the proper way. And that was to send a letter. You should have called Phaedra, had her send a letter, and got that girl fired. Because we are not even convinced about Britt. Who likes her? Who likes her yet? All we hear about is the husband and you, and she just got it out for you. You got it out. She think you got it in for her, but she really got it out for you. So I'm not in love with her. You could have got her fired. Goodness gracious, kid. You just messed up the bag. You didn't effed up the thing. Well, Bessie, that was my review. Drop down in the comments, let me know what you think, and like the video. And I'll see you in the next recap. Bye, bestie.